Alright, this is what I'm listening to right now. It's just one of those random YouTube mixes. Alright, next up on the to-do list, block placement. So we're back here. So, space mesh 1 dot position dot x and space mesh 2. Let's go look at what those are. Are they still the blocks or are they planes now? Yeah, I have space plane. Now space material. Oh, this is gross. What the fuck? No. Alright, so what does this place space function need again? Space mesh 1, so it makes a mesh here using space material 1. Verify I have a space material 1 up here. I do. Texture material 1, which is, yeah, okay. Pretty much, yeah. Hi Alexander, how you doing? I've decided I am in fact vibing for this. But look. Now it swaps fine. And we have the length and the cursor updates top left. And they work just perfect the way they are. I could use what Gluttony showed me to fix it. Hold on. Let me turn that down. I could use what Gluttony showed me to fix it. Or quote unquote fix it in order to have everything be the new lines. But it's fine. Do you know what an auto splitter is in speedrunning? Yes. Yes, I do. You press a button and it updates the clock and stuff. Usually it's positioned somewhere on screen. It's like up there in the top right. I have my follower goal banner, or top. Apparently my camera's reversed. Top right, and also I'm in the bottom left. But you can position them wherever you want. Same with the auto splitter. Are you concerned about like someone speedrunning building a specific thing? What's the speedrun you're imagining? Building a chess, like all of chess, as quickly as possible? that seems silly. I guess someone could do it. An autosplitter is a program that updates the top right list of goals. Oh. So you're saying I should use that to keep track of what my current goals are while programming and not have to constantly explain it? Like... Alright, so that loads that. Space plane is the geometry that we should be using. Let me verify I'm using that. Space geometry. Hold on. Alright, where else is space geometry defined? It's just these two. Yeah, okay. So, currently I'm using rollover position, which I think is incorrect. I think we're going to have to iterate through this. I was trying to prod how much of an explanation is needed for that meme thing I did. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just checked general and random, and I'm very confused. So I can't use rollover mesh. Furthermore, I need... So let's define the space mesh. Up here. That's hilarious. I think the community will just assume that his auto splitter's in chat for some reason until he starts asking questions. Be like, who is auto splitter? I didn't add this. You know, that type of thing. And it's an alt, so it doesn't matter if you get kicked or something. Alright, so I'm going to have to change how I'm doing this. Rollover V? Oh god. Alright, so let's just delete these three. That way I'm not doing it that way. And furthermore, I'm going to need the other meshes. So for now, I'm only going to do the top. How have I been? I've been alright. I'm figuring out how to work with my brain slowly but surely to make sure I actually make progress on the things that matter, like programming, and how to not do things that don't matter, especially things that actively hurt me. I severely struggle with behavioral addictions. It's been a process, but I'm definitely getting better. It's just frustrating, you know? So since we're placing the spaces, I'm saving it as last position. Also, when am I running this? Let me find that first. Place space. Okay, so it's only one. So I'm going to do an on pointer down. or on pointer up rather, I'm going to run place space. So build spread GUI toggle and then place space. Next thing. I know I'm going to have to do a set of nested for loops, so let me set that up first. So place space is also going to need an X, a Y, and a Z input. No, that's not what it would be. So I have the initial position and the last position saved as global variables. So I don't think I will need to do that. I will need it to know what type of space it is. But I guess I can add that later and it will just be fine. For now, there's only one type of space. It's the block with the spot where you can put the chess pieces on top of it and only on top of it. Okay. So the other notable part of this is I was keeping track of length. I'm keeping track of length, width, and height already. So because of that, I guess in theory, where's the function where I'm doing that? Build spread GUI content. It has X length, Z length, and height, which come in. Oh, they're already defined, aren't they? Hold on. Are they defined in function or out of function? Where's build spread content called? Oh, spread GUI content. It's called inside of here, which means these are not global. And this is all in rollover group position, and then it gets called here. Where is rollover group position called? That doesn't matter. It just means that I need to move these three global, and then they will actively have been set. Hi, MG. MG Tantai 1001. I was trying to see if I recognize that name from anywhere. I don't think I do. Other than, well, Twitch. Alright, so this is fairly simple. I just need to put these three variables up in the variable declarations, which is here. X length, Z length, height. Alright, so that doesn't change much, but it now means that everything that I need is in there. Alright, so now I need the start x and the final x, which is the initial position and the final position. Oh, but it's not. For loops default to plus plus. So if, for example, I start at the initial position and the final position is less, because you could have that situation here. I just need to account for that. So I can just swap which one I'm using. Alright. So min, if fucking last position, or fuck, what am I calling them? Hold on. Let me grab the variable names and put them in comments, just right at the top of this. On pointer down, initial position. Alright, so it's initial position. And that is the physical, okay, so that's unmodified. So I'm gonna have to perform this on it, the math.floor. I do this function so much. Math.floor posit var, or math.floor whatever the position is, divided by staring unit. Because that's, that literally turns it into X, Y, and Z. Right, and then this part. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to get block a lot? No, it's only going to set block, and it will replace everything in that. Okay. But this answers question 1, so the other one is last position, right? Yeah, because rollover group position will update, so it needs to be last position, I think that's what it's called. Last position, yeah. Alright, let me see where I have that defined. Yeah, it's global. Alright, perfect. So now I'm in here. No, I'm not. Where is it? Not this one. Hide that. Here. Alright, initial position, last position. Alright, so I was right about the names. So if dot x, is it just dot x? Hold on. Or is it dot position dot x? It's dot x, okay. Dot x is less than, so we're gonna start at the minimum and go up. Or if initial position is less than last position, dot x let min Z and semicolon. Equals this, and then else it's going to be the other one. This part, math.floor. And math.floor initial position.x. Go. And now we do that 2 more times. And now it's dot y on all of this. Oh, I used a comma on accident. Fuck. Now to make them all y's. Then to make them all z's. Morning, Gluttony. Alright, I've set the minimums, I've set the mesh, but not all of the meshes. Right now I'm only doing the top. I don't remember why this if statement's here, so I'm removing it for now. I think I was worried about this. And then this is the actual placement function of the thing. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is iterate through and set the block ID. So I'm going to be using my game classes. And this method, where is it? Oh, do I not have set block? I thought I already did set block. Oh. No, I did. There it is. Duh. Okay. And then the type I currently am using is just top slab. Alright, so it's just, that shouldn't be too bad. Alright. Let me relook up frickin' JavaScript syntax for loops, just to make sure. Yeah, exactly. All right, perfect. This one is now J's. This is now K's. Alright, so now we have a nested 3-set for loop. The more traditional way to do the thing where you find a smaller number with math.min Oh. Fair enough. The notable part is I actually don't. That's exactly what I need. It probably does the exact same thing as this block, but it would be compressed inside of a 3-block thing, or 3 lines of code. All right. So this is I. So this will be I equals min x. This will be min y, and this will be min z. I plus plus. So this part is the important bit, where it needs to be the minimum plus the difference. But luckily the actual range is already global. Does it need to be -1? You would name the loop variables x, y, and z? Nah. I use I, J, and K specifically for for loops. That's just something I'm used to. Okay. Now, reminder to self. I made... It's not posit var. I made one of my variables global just now to make my life easier. Yeah, x length, z length, and height. Max x, so we're going to be let max x equal min x plus x length. And then we're doing max x, max y, max z. Alright, and then the only purpose of this for loop is to run set block. So we're doing main grid dot set block. And then it'll be 1, comma, I, comma, j, comma, k. And that's all I'm doing in there for now. And I need to fully set all of these to 1 before I run the next bit, because it's going to involve if and if statement. Alright, let me double check that I did the right syntax for that. Type XYZ. Type for the block I'm doing is 1. All right. 2024-08-08 according to Discord. Okay, that's a while ago. To be fair, like, even my business partner only plays TB when I make him at this point. Partly because the UI isn't there in the community, like, it's a lot of extra effort for some people to do stuff in the current environment, especially having to keep track of all the rules. Like, there's probably a couple dozen people who want to play TB, but are just waiting for there to be rule enforcement. And because that process has taken a while, some of those people have lost some amount of interest. So this will start at the bottom and work its way up. And it doesn't care whether or not I've spawned stuff yet. So we're going to do if main grid dot get block, and we're going to be looking if there's one above. So I, comma, j plus 1, comma, k is not exactly equal to 1. Is it 1 in a string that I set it to? Oh, fuck. No, it's the number 1. So it should work without the quotes. So if there's not one above, run this. We love nested ifs and for loops. Probably instead of doing 2 sets of ifs, I should make this an AND. So I put all of this in parentheses and then all of this. No, because this is if else. Okay, so I do need these to be separated ifs. What's NHS? And then this will be what? I times standard unit. This will be J. And then this will be K. What? Oh, I see what happened there. That's old. So part of my issue with this is it's going to try to run place space even when I, J, and K are out of bounds right now. So I'm going to do a double check on each of these to make sure they are within bounds. So and then if any of them are out of bounds, break. Let's just see if this works first without doing that fix, but I do need to do that fix. I've already done a lot. So boom, add space. It. Okay. Well, it's doing something. First of all, I need to rotate that spot. So that's a... That's the geometry space plane. I need to rotate space plane. The same way I did the grid geometry. Okay, let's go to... I think I called that grid plane. Control F, grid plane. Nope. Plane mesh, that's what I called it. Alright, dude. Let's get some other music up in here. Any suggestions before I just put something on? It's hard player base, but it's tied up with some crypto stuff. You don't need to engage with the crypto stuff, but it just makes it look shady. Yeah, what's up? But I need time? Okay. Let me do stream of music. Share again. Copy. Paste. You have to DM it to me, Alexander. Links are turned off in this chat. Unless I send them. I think maybe Gluttony can send them? I'm unsure. He does have mod privileges. I don't need this anymore. Cool. Alright, so plane mesh. Where's the part where I rotate it? I'm confused. Okay, so it's plane geometry that I rotate. That's why. Rotate x math pi over 2. Alright, but that will move every space plane, so I'm just going to have to account for that. Alright, so that's first change. Second, I need to figure out why it's only placing one. Or is it placing more than one, but it's just not? Alright, so quick test on this part. Console.log I ran once Let's see if there's only one of these. Because that will tell me if it's a positioning issue or an if statement issue. I want dark mode. Thank you. Add spaces. Oop. Oh! Oh! Oh, I see what fucking happened. I use spaceplane for other shit. Alright, so I can't do this way. Alright, let's look at the other shit. Oh. Because it's rotating all of them. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, wow. There's a lot to unpack here. Oh, that's why. It's not that they're... Okay, so they rotate, and then now they're over here. Okay. Because it's only visible from one side. Alright. So second thing... Oh, right. Oh, illegal placements running? That's weird. Control F5. Build, click, add spaces, run. Alright, F12. Can't access property X initial position is undefined. What line? 465. Initial position. Are you telling me this isn't a global? Let's It is global. It should be a vector 3. Oh, wait. So dot x should be defined, but it says it isn't. Alright, Alexander has a link from me. Alright, we'll come back to this. Place space and on pointer up. 526. So it's defined in on pointer down. Is this getting discarded? Is this a weird frickin'... Right, 526, because it runs place space there. Okay. I think that I could fix that just by putting the initial position vector 3 part up here in variable definitions. So let initial position equal new vector 3. And then this is no longer here. Control S. I think that should fix that error. Control F5. Build, click, S, add space, raw. Alright. I ran once, 238 times. Okay. You sure did. At least once. Maybe you call it before initial is set? Yeah, maybe. That seemed like part of the issue. Alright, so that did fix it. It is now a vector 3. Am I modifying the same place 238 times? So, I'll say. Let me close this. Let me turn this down slightly. So what's supposed to be happening is I set all the main grids to 1, right? Then, after that, I go through so for this entire grid, I go through it again, same number of times, the exact same for loop, and I'm trying to set a square if and only if the block above it is not 1, right? So, block above it, same I, j plus 1, k, is not 1. I run this, which should be placing this space in this position, right? So, ijk times standard unit. And then I was going to have to do some math modifications, right? And this if statement just places a dark square or a light square based on the coordinates. Space mesh 1 is the same for each cycle in the loop? Yes. Oh. Where am I defining the space mesh 1? I need to be making the new space mesh inside of the loop. So this, you are correct. Alright, and then let's also do the dot rotate X on it, because may as well now. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Fuck yeah. Alright, next part. Let me go to 0, 0, which is that way. And then when I place a 2x2, this will tell me what direction I'm off by and how much. It is... Okay, so it's placing the 0, 0 there, so I need to add a half a standard unit in the X and Z. So... so this needs to just be I plus 0.5. I plus 0.5. And then same for K. Oh. Alright. K plus 0.5. Let me look at something. They're all the same. Why are they all the same? Okay, we'll figure that out in a sec. For now, let's get this part started. Okay. Alright, so they will be positioned correctly now. Control F5. Build, click, boom. Add spaces, boom. Okay. They don't fully look positioned correctly. Let me look at the corner to double check. This way. They are positioned perfectly. Now, why isn't it checkerboarding? I'm using rollover group. Rollover group doesn't exist. So it's always running else. Right. Okay. And it needs to not be rollover group.position.x divided by standard unit. It needs to be. Oh, it needs to just be I. This is I. This is J. This is K. Mod 2. Yes. Beautiful. Today I roamed that you can write 0.5 in JavaScript. Epilepsy warning. That was a mouse mess up, by the way. I can't recreate that if I wanted to. I'm literally trying right now to get it to do the thing again. Alright, so notably, it still has the old ones loaded. So that also, does that matter? For now, this should be the only set of optimizations I need to do for the polygon count to be low enough for us not to have issues. But if there's ever a speed issue, I know that one of the things I can do... Oh, hold on. Let me finish that third thought first. So, just to check, pyramid is not going to be checkerboarded but striped, correct. Man, my water's empty. As will every staircase by default. Okay, so let me think about this for a sec. One of the things I'll be able to do once I have shit together, the fact that this exists is bothering me. Why must you be like this? Alright, that one makes sense, but this one... See if I can recreate it. Yeah, right there. It's not supposed to be able to lock there. In fact, if I click and drag there, what happens? Okay. Is that below the other one? The only way to really double check is to get the half going. Oh, it's freaking the fuck out. Okay, that's weird. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a half slap going. Yeah, there. Okay, so no, it does spawn correctly even if the rollover's fucked. So I'll be able to despawn these undergrids later if I need to reduce the polygon count again. Stepping up the app, I see. Yeah. Alright, let's do the very first stress test. I'm going to do two parts here. I'm going to start at this corner and go to the opposite corner. See if we have any issues at spawning all of these in. There is a bit of lag. Okay. Not a whole lot, but enough to matter. Yeah. Okay. I need further optimizations. Okay. So believe it or not, deleting those older polygons actually isn't the best bet. So technically, here's what happened, right? I went from that corner to that corner. But it's completely flat all the way across. However, each of these individual squares is currently 2 polygons. I technically, if I did it right, should be able to make the entire thing one big polygon on the render. We're already keeping track of the squares perfectly fine, so it doesn't matter how I render them. So they don't need to be more. And because when you're doing this click and drag, it will always be a rectangle, some funky optical illusions there. And it's also fucking with my astigmatism a little bit. Because it will always be a rectangle, I should be able to use a singular mesh for the entire thing and then just texture it properly. So that involves me going into 3JS and figuring out how to do a tiled texture. Alright, so we are now from...
Have you ever been excited?
Alright. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to play this. So... Yeah. So part 1, which I already did, or I'm already in the process of doing, was don't spawn every face. Does your MVP have removing cubes? Yes, that's the next step after we get placing cubes correct. I've just been working on placing cubes this whole time. It will be another click and drag. There will be some troubleshooting nonsense since rather than selecting above the thing, it'll be below, but I should be able to just invert the normal addition for the rollover and it'll be fine. It'll be red, click and drag, delete everything in the thing, and then 4 adjacent cubes to what you just deleted spawn in the faces. It's literally, the MVP is spawn cubes, delete cubes, chess pieces and rules. Play or save your project, load the project, play, and yeah, some sort of way to at least locally play your variant. More than likely, multiplayer will be the immediate part there. And then technically, we will have something working and upright. It won't be the entirety of the MVP, but that's like prototype version 1. Everything is barely playable and usable, and I can publish that and people can mess with it. The hardest part of all that right now seems like it's going to be the chess pieces part. Of course, I could be wrong. Chess pieces are fine. Fair enough. You just need to learn to load models. That I know how to do. That's not the issue I'm worried about. I'm worried about piece movement. Because I know enough about piece movement to know that it's sometimes somewhat difficult. It's the rule enforcement that's going to be hard. Exactly. That's what I would be working. That's what I'm thinking of. That's difficult. Plus, possibly multiplayer might be difficult. It might be. Especially doing it in a way that the user won't necessarily be able to cheat and just provide a board state back. So some sort of back end, double check that the last move was legal. If not legal, tell them it was illegal and revert to previous board state. If it was legal, give it to the other player. That type of thing. So I will be, yeah. I just need to double check the rule enforcement on the back end and the front end. Before you have rating, you can just show desync error. What do you mean? Alright, so I have to go into 3JS and figure out texture tiling. So let me just look at textures. UV mapping. I already know UV mapping might work for what I need. No. There is repeat wrapping, clamp to edge wrapping. Clamp to edge is what it's doing. The texture will simply repeat infinitely. So maybe I can just do repeat wrapping and set the size correctly? And I can just make the image a 2x2 of the two different squares, and then tiling would work. No server needed. I mean, no server validation. Player 1 sends invalid move. Player 2 cannot find the move in its legal moves. Shows desync error. No server needed. No server validation needed. Ah, right. So what is the problem with doing this in rated? Collusion, like player collusion? Both of them cheating at the same time? What would even be the point? If you're already cheating with them, you could just concede. Because in rated, you don't know which to trust. Oh, I see. Right. Okay, that makes sense. You can't assume that the illegal move will always be the sent move, because the receiving player, if they modify their stuff locally, will also get an illegal move on the receipt. Right. Thank you. Alright, it really looks like if I just set it to repeat wrapping and then do the image like I'm thinking, I should be fine. So let me open my images. I don't need to open both yet, just this one. Open, image, resize by percentage, 200%. File, save as, chess square, albedo. Boom. And now it's the same thing but bigger. Alright. Add layer. Add layer. Move it over. Zoom in. Cool. Control C, Control V. Oh. Alright, and then load this one again, add layer. Minus. Okay. File, save. Oh, kind of forgot to merge all the layers. File, save. Cool. Albedo. Yeah, that makes sense. But that's also, if I have to code rule enforcement eventually, for rated, I should do server validation to start with. Because otherwise I'm just creating extra work for myself by putting it off now. You know? Alright. So albedo, and first things first, let's load that texture in. That's up here. Const texture material. Oh, I see. A for albedo equals texture loader dot load, all of this, chest square. Oh, have to get the texture loader part. Chest square, albedo. So notably, all right, I have that loaded now. Notably, it currently runs and places it every single time. I'm only going to need to place it once. So instead of placing it here, is this if? Is that Missy? It might be. Alright, so it's still doing an if statement, and it's still doing it twice. So I may as well just start over. Yeah. Let me look at my, so it was space mesh. Okay. I keep hearing and seeing movement at the same time. I think my dog is outside the door. Let's let the puppy in. Missy? Okay, I was wrong. It's just late. Equals new 3 dot mesh standard material. This one, and then it needs in order geometry and then material. So the geometry is space plane, and then the material is what did I call it? That's AA, texture material AA. Yeah. All right, and then wrapping modes. So this texture, so I actually need to make texture material AA dot wrapping mode. What? These define the texture's wrap S and wrap T properties, which separately define horizontal and vertical texture wrapping. So it would be texture material AA dot wrap S equals repeat wrapping dot wrap T equals repeat wrapping. Let's see if manual has it. Yeah, where's your repeat wrapping discussion? Yeah, where's the repeat wrapping part? Here? This is filter stuff. Here it is. Yeah. And I don't want it mirrored, I just want it... Okay. So here, tab. I need this up in the actual texture definition because I will be using this again later. Texture material AA dot wrap S equals 3 dot repeat wrapping. And then same thing, but wrap T. Alright, so now wrap T is 3 dot repeat wrapping. Okay, now how to get it sized correctly. Times to repeat horizontally, times to repeat vertically. Okay. So this will be dot repeat dot set in texture material AA. And that will be down here. Okay. Texture material AA dot repeat dot set. And then I have to put X and Y in here, which is just going to be, in this case, X length and Z length, hopefully. I might have these backwards, but we will find that out when we go to test it. Okay. Oh, and right, I need to divide it by 2. Does it have to be an integer for some reason? I don't think it would. It might have to be an integer. No, this is JavaScript. They account for this most of the time. I can check if it has to be by looking at the... Because if it's a for loop to do this in the implementation, it would. Fuck. Is that not going to be a problem for multiple planes using the same texture? No. No, it's not. Not in the way this does things. Geometry, yes. Texture, no. Because the texture is pretty universal, and I can just reset this property every time I am about to use it in a new mesh. I have to, in fact, reset this property every time I use it in a new mesh. But yeah. The fact that I need it to checkerboard is actually really frustrating right now. But that's fine. So we're going to do this all the way through and then check for issues. So let me look at how I did it for the grid layer again. Spawn grid layer. Last step is going to be scene.add and objects.push. Alright. So we'll do that part now. Scene.add space mesh objects.push space mesh. This makes it render. This adds it to the collision detection for the rollover. So as of right now, this will be without being positioned. So now I need to position it. Space mesh.position.y equals max y. Times standard unit. And then the next part would be, I need to make the Y and Z work. Or, yeah, not the Y, the X and Z. I could just copy rollover meshes, Y and Z at the time. So, dot position dot X equals rollover mesh dot position dot X and then dot Z. Same thing. All right. So currently I am not doing the offset yet because that will have to be an if statement. And it will use the starting corner. So I will use the I, J, and K of the starting corner in order to do it. If I find out I can do divide by 2 and have the halves. So I need to very deliberately test with an odd number. Let's test with an even first to see what happens. Control F5, build, login, deduce, add spaces. 2, 3, 4. Did not spawn. F12. Halt. Space mesh dot position is undefined. The fuck you. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they're all on my screen. What the fuck? Oh, so it doesn't have a position. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Wait. You're right. That's what it is. It's a material, not a mesh. Hold on. Let me look at spawn grid layer again. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So... Alright, so I just called the wrong thing. Fuck. Spawn light set controls, event lister, add rollover box. That's the function I need. That's add rollover square was add rollover box. Collapse that. This one. Oh, so it is add rollover square. Fuck. Three dot mesh. Control S. Control F5. Build. Click. Add space. Let's do even by even to start with. Nothing happened. F12. Rollover mesh is not defined. What? I didn't fuck with rollover mesh. Did I? Oh. Oh, here it is. In place space and on pointer up. So 502? Yeah. Alright. Right, because it's... So I actually need to do rollover group. That should fix that. F5. Build, click, boop, boop. 4x4. Still didn't do it. Why aren't you working? Come on. Did it work and I just can't see it? No. Illegal placement? That's coming up at weird times. Oh, and now it's coming up over and over? Okay, so it's here, but I can't see it. That's interesting. It's there, but it's not there. Alright, that might be caused by... Could be caused by a lot of things. So this is the one I need open. Alright. I'll be back. I need to use my bathroom. Frickin' heck. Okay, let's figure out what's going on. So just to double check, it's not visible on any side, it's not visible there. It's not weirdly spawning below everything, is it? No? Okay. It can again be the issue with reusing objects. Don't you need to create a new space plane? I don't think so. It is reused for the rollover mesh, firstly. I'm trying to figure out why that would cause this. I can define a new geometry. That's not... Maybe try another texture. Yeah, let's just try texture material 1. See if that will do it. Okay. So it's not the texture. Well, it could specifically be this over 2, regardless of what the texture is. Nope. There's some really funky shit going on here. Okay, so it is being added to objects. Is it not being added to the scene? And it's being added to the objects, but it isn't... I know at least part of the issue. Part of the issue is I haven't scaled the size of this frickin' mesh. It's still a normal 1x1. It's just being spawned in the middle of everything. Alright, so first things first, I know that's to be the case. So space mesh dot scale. I have to remember how to scale. I do it in rollover group position. Yeah. X length, Y length, height. So now I'm doing it here, but it's going to be space mesh instead of rollover group. Alright, so that will fix one of my bugs. That will fix the weird, it's not registering when I click and drag. Alright, so it... Okay. Well, that needed to happen, but I'm still confused why I can't fucking see this thing. This isn't defined anywhere else. Let me look at space plane real quick. We'll try that. Is there something with texture material? Albedo. Chest square albedo. Did I name it wrong? Does the material not exist? Chest square albedo. Materials for boards. Nothing weird. Okay. Control S. Control F5. Build, click, boom, add spaces, click and drag. Didn't spawn it again. And furthermore, oh. So, one thing I now know is happening weirdly. What the fuck is going on? Thank you for the spot. That will tell me something. Control S. Control F5. Build, click, add spaces. F12. Illegal placement. Oh, it's registering as an illegal placement every single time? Why? Alright, so first things first. Illegal placement returns exactly... So why is posit var x getting fucked with? You know what? We're gonna console.log these three. In fact, I think it's only the y that should be fucking with me. So I'm just gonna do that. F5. Build, click, boom, add spaces, click and drag, F12. 1. 1 is greater than 0. And it didn't register illegal placement that time, but it did that time. What the fuck? Yeah. It's always the last one you check. Oh, would it be the get? It could be the get block. Hold on. Control S. The last thing it could be, if it's not this, is the get block. Build, click, boom, add spaces, click, click, click. It's the get block. Okay, so for some... Why am I getting the block here? Type debugger instead of console.log. What does this do? Alright, time to look up what this... Well, let me finish my thought process and fix this, and then we'll look at what a debugger is. Why am I getting the block? Okay, so on pointer down, it clicks, sets the initial position, double checks all this. And then if it's not 0, it goes. But I'm setting it equal to 1. Oh, this is what I was doing to prevent the overlap issue. But now, because it's not spawning the thing, I'm getting the overlap issue. Okay, that's fine. It will stop execution and let you explore variables. Interesting. Oh, that's why I'm tired. It's bedtime. It's 8 minutes past my bedtime. Okay, so that means the illegal placement part is not actually part of the issue. In fact, it has nothing to do with it. Alright, let's go back inside of place space. Down here at the bottom. Position.y is this. This is this. Well, there's part of my frickin' problem. Times standard unit. So maybe it's just tiny. Too tiny for me to see at the time. Well, it sure as fuck did something. What the hell is this? Alright, so is it currently... It is. It is currently a wall. Oh boy. I'm doing something very wrong here. me look at the grid layer spawn again. Alright, step 1. Get the material, get the map. Step 2, set the plane geometry with this part. Okay. So when I set space plane, it is currently standard unit, standard unit. Okay, so I do have the size set correctly, which means I do not need to multiply by standard unit down here when I'm scaling. It also unfortunately means it's not my issue. Let's go continue looking at the one that works already. Do that. Set standard unit. Rotate it. Rotate it. Space mesh dot rotate x math dot pi over 2. Okay, what else do I need to do? Alright, and then this is stuff specifically to instance mesh, but I set the Y. Set the X and set the Z. And then I add and then I push. So I set X, Y, and Z here. Then I add and then I push. I also scale it if I backspace this part, what's gonna happen? Let's just do that. Let's just do all of that, Control F5, build, click, boom, add spaces, but no? Illegal placement. Place debugger where the mesh is positioned to see what position is actually being set there. So here. Okay. Build, click, boom. Add spaces, click and drag. Debugger. Where's my debugger? Oh. You need DevTools open? Now you could type code into console to check variable values. Space Geo. Space Mesh. Cache out of files. Geometry. Is buffer geometry. Type plane geometry. UUID. Okay. The X position is 3975. Does that sound reasonable? Standard unit's 50. Max is, yeah, that's more than reasonable. That's within bounds. Okay, so I need to find scale inside of Space Mesh. This one. 16, 1, 16. So in theory, I just did a 16 by 16 by 1. I don't see anything here that would prevent it. What's the position again? Geometry, ID, materials, matrix. Oh, right. Okay, so position. So we have this thing that just refuses to get added to the scene. The texture is loaded. You know what? I have an idea. Let's remove this right here, the repeat set, and just spawn it normal. And I'm also going to go up here and remove the wrap S and wrap T. So it won't be sized correctly, but oh, let's remove the debugger as well. Build, click, boom, add spaces, click and drag. That changed nothing. What the fuck? Alright, so that wasn't it. So we will put those back. I'll give it a shot. Did I put new on the texture up here? I found the problem. Alright, so this is problem one. There's something going on with the positioning and the scaling of it that I won't be able to see until it actually shows up. Now it will show up. That needs to be negative math.pi over 2. That's what we have learned. Why'd the volume get so high? Oh, because of the thing. Alright. The sizing is wrong, first of all. Alright, hold on. Let me put this down. So it's 2 in the air, it's only supposed to be 1. First of all. It's doing that thing again, which I will have to fix. Alright, so now it's the correct Y. Alright. It's already the correct X, but it's not the correct Z. Why is it not the correct Z? Wait a second. Yeah. That bug always annoys the fuck out of me. I know I'm gonna have to fix it. Oh, debugger's open. Console. 12. Ah! Do I still have a debugger? I do, that's why. Or part of why, rather. Why was it only showing up sometimes? Anyways, F5. Build, click, boom, add space, drag. F12. F11. Please. Okay. Console. 10. There's a lot to unpack here. It only stops execution if you have DevTools open. Okay. Tell you what, why don't we just remove this and see where we're at. Because I'm curious. Also, why is max y minus 1 correct? Oh, that's interesting. What's min x equal to? Initial position dot x divided by standard unit. Math dot floor. Hold on. Console.log min y. This should give out 0. If it gives out 1, I'm going to be upset. Because rollover mesh position is technically on the top right corner. So see the Y0? That's what it should be putting out. But it's putting out 1. Both initial position and last position are both 0 on this Y value when I'm doing it just on the ground. And 0 divided by standard unit should be 0, so min y should be 0. Which means that my assumption that both of these are 0 is incorrect. Let me go check initial position and last position. Yeah, that. The y has a -1. So the y and exactly the y has a -1. Okay. Alright, so that's one thing fixed. And that will help some of what I'm doing. That also explains what's going on, because it moves everything one higher than it should have been, and it was double checking if the thing above it was there or not to spawn it in. Oh, what the fuck? What are you doing? Why are you doing? Why are you Z fighting with something invisible? What the fuck? Is there an error? Oh, you're Z fighting with the floor. Right. Because I moved everything down one? Do I have a -1 down here somewhere? Yeah, right there. Okay, so that fixes that. Alright, No longer randomly Z fighting shit. Alright. Now let's scale it. So space mesh dot scale. Alright, let me look at the dot scale I do on the grid. Where is it? Oh, I don't do dot scale on the grid, but I do dot scale on the rollover box. Yay. The scale difference. One thing at a time. Let's do the X length first. -1 in console, not good. Right, because I was logging something. What was I logging again? I'm starting to get minimum Y. Penis. Is that the only thing I'm console.logging? Let me double check. That's a comment. That's illegal placement. That's min Y. Why? That explains why I'm getting illegal placement. Why is it -1? Okay, I'm losing my mind. I need to go to bed. It's 40 minutes past bedtime. I need a fresh brain. I'll be back tomorrow.